The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Y'all ready for this?
We are back, especially I am back.
Both back.
Yes, indeed. It is 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Wednesday, October 10th. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us always in the studio and on the board, the head engineer, the honcho himself, John Stiles. John, how you doing today, buddy? Clearly you're amped up. Ready to rock?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right,
great.
man.
Awesome.
Glad to hear it. And it is good to be back in the saddle again.
Yeah, you took some time off.
Yes, indeed.
And I also took some time off.
Okay.
And I know you're thinking about this because I still have this ongoing where I've never seen the Lions win live. So I actually go back to the D. I get down to the Eastern Market, which is a big tailgate area where everyone goes to tailgate in Detroit. I got everything's all planned. I'm gonna go do some tailgating, have a few beers. And by the way, man, $20, all you can eat, all you can drink. I could have just stayed there all day.
Oh wow!
I mean, and there was some people starting to get torn up, but I was kind of like pacing myself a little bit. Have full intentions of going to the game.
Yeah.
I got a call. Said I had to come to a meeting at 2:00, so I wasn't able to go to the game.
And of course, the
Lions won.
The Lions won, yes. Yeah.
We are going to break this record this year, though. We're gonna beat Arizona. I'm going down there in December. I'm gonna watch them win live. But that's the third time that's actually happened.
That you've been ready to go.
Where I've actually went
there.
up to a game. I actually went to a Denver when Tim Tebow's first game.
Yeah. And
I was gonna go to watch that game. The Lions win 37-0. I sat out in the parking lot and watched the game on the TV. So this is not the first time they've done that to me, but it was a lot of fun, man. I had a great time back in the D, just visiting with friends and family. Got to see my dad, and the weather was great, actually. I mean, it rained one day, but other than that, it was in the 80s, which is very rare for this time of year.
Yeah, that seems a bit odd.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think okay. Yeah.
But it was great. We had a really good time, and I got to see a bunch of people, and it was good.
All right. You get any chili dogs?
I did not. Yeah, man, it was really strange because I went there for work, and usually I go there for pleasure, obviously. So I did catch a couple of the restaurants that are my go-tos like every time, but I did not catch a coney.
Well, I guess that means we got to go down to the D and.
No, we should.
And we make up for it.
Absolutely.
We don't need much of an excuse to go down to D and get conies.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean,
the D hotel we're talking about, Derek Stevens.
There you have it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, first of all, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
It really was. I had a little day job work last week at the Trade Expo, and but it was a good show all the way around. Busy. I mean, just from morning, noon, and night. And just, I'd like to thank my colleagues again for coming out. It was really great to see them.
Oh, awesome.
But you eat all the time. Yeah, and more so than I ever eat, within a given week at any given time.
Right. Everything
seems to be centered around a meal of some kind.
Right. That's how you break bread and have the fellowship. So.
Exactly. Right. Or just goof around. One of the two.
Right.
But we have got a great show, and we're going to go ahead and get started. With us on the line, our man, Torrance Hall from the ATL is with us on the line. Torrance, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's up, boss?
We're doing great. Always good to hear your voice, and we always appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Torrance, if for those of you who've never joined us, which I can't believe, you recall Torrance is our NBA guru. But the NBA is getting ready to fire up, and we're going to absolutely get into that in a minute.
Yep.
But in the meantime, Torrance is also just an ATL devotee. He backs all the teams. He's in it to win it. Never cries, never moans, never groans.
Not on air.
You're a fan. And
Indeed.
yeah, that's what counts. And we always truly appreciate fans.
Yes.
So right now we are about ready to hit week 6, I believe, for the NFL.
Yes,
And
sir.
we let's get the 500-pound gorilla out of the way that's in the room.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What's
up, Jeff, too, man?
I want to
Wow.
get it out of the way so that we can, just move on. But
Right. Let's go. Let's go. Hey,
okay, what happened to Atlanta last weekend, man?
man, like I've been telling a lot of the fellas, Atlanta's defense, their secondary is so young and inexperienced that they're going to have to prove themselves that they have to stop somebody. So, you went against a Super Bowl champion, like 2-time champion. Big Ben is not a joke at all. So it was due for them to kind of put up big numbers, honestly. And that secondary is just not strong enough. You got a few guys up front. It's looking bad, but we just got to win the next 2 games.
Well, I was going to
that
say,
game was horrific.
with Atlanta, there is some youth there, but you're talking about some injury in the defense as well. So,
Yes.
anytime you go in through injury, man, that kind of puts a lot of heat on those guys, and especially when you have to start the young guys.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of
Right.
schedule.
Right. And some of those guys actually would have been good contributors, rotating on plays here and there, but just having to say, hey, this is your defense. You're the last line of defense for the Atlanta Falcons now. And you got Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen on the sideline saying, do it, brother. Do it, brother. And everything is on you. And you never faced Ben Roethlisberger ever before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be a tall task. And let's face it, Pittsburgh was out to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a lot of there's a heap of criticism, certainly of the way that they've handled their free agent situation. But I think that they had to prove a point. Unfortunately, it happened to be the Falcons that they were lined up against.
And I'm going to tell you this, honestly, I think Pittsburgh been the best team that we played, although we lost those last few games. Pittsburgh actually just beat us because we normally been scoring 30-plus points a game.
Right.
We only scored 17 points. So their defense really shut us down. And they always known for that rush. They've been rushing for years. They rush the quarterback, get him off the spot. And Matt Ryan just happened to be one of those quarterbacks who's accurate but very inaccurate getting off that spot. So it was a lot of things they did well, man, to stop us. I think we should have brought Freeman in after Coleman, and it was just different things that could have been called. But when the team's better, man, they better.
Right.
And if your defense, like I say, those guys are professionals. They're good, but playing against some guys, like you said, had something to prove and still not really getting the concept is, playing game after game, being a man on the spot. That's a tough situation.
Well, I do like them this week against Tampa Bay.
I do too.
And I really think they're going to fire back. Tampa Bay's defense is suspect as they get. The over-under in that game's 57.5.
I would take the over.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Atlanta's going to put up points.
Yes.
But the way the Tampa Bay's offense has been playing, they're probably going to put up some points too. So
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty safe take to take the over on that one.
It's a rivalry game, so it's going to definitely be a tough one. But I think we can beat Tampa Bay and the Giants.
Well, I would hope so.
But
Yeah.
I would hope so.
And I think so too. I mean, listen, it's the season is still young. And with the way the NFC South is, New Orleans is playing lights out right now.
Oh my gosh!
And and it's they clearly they're going to put up points. They're also going to give them up at the same time. So you always kind of I think you anticipate that with the Saints game.
I love that over on Monday night. When I looked at it, I was like, "How's this game not go over?"
Yeah.
With the way that both these teams are playing. And shout out, by the way, to Drew Brees.
Congratulations. Yeah, I mean,
man, one of the greatest ever, man. He's one of the greatest ever, man.
And he really did break the stigma. Like I always hear, you can't draft this guy, he's too small. You can't draft this guy, he's too small. Well, here he is.
Right.
So you've said that so many times. I hear every single commentator say that. And here's the guy, 6'1", leading passer in the NFL history.
And 6'1" might be a stretch. I mean, I look at him around those other guys, and he's not anybody that looks like an athlete.
Yeah.
Okay. But, it's not just, the fact that he has kind of overcome. He overcame what probably was going to be a career-ending shoulder injury.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody kind of thought that, that the Saints were taking a risk and, and that.
Yeah, they were like, get rid of him at that point. I
mean, I mean, and so it was, but congratulations to him. And at the same time, hats off to somebody else to me is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's Phillip Rivers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Matthew Stafford.
No, well,
yeah, man.
He's one.
I'm going to tell you this, Bill.
Two.
Bill, I'm a Phillip Rivers fan, and I was just telling somebody the other day, he really overstayed. I said, it must be lovely in Cali because he had to stay out there for the weather and the money.
I love that.
I think I would have left when LT left and he lost Michael Turner and all those guys. I was like, I got to get out of here, man. Lost Antonio Cromartie. I got to go.
Yeah.
I think some of
he's
it.
hanging with Gates and just him, and it's when Gates goes, he goes.
That might be it, because and at the same time, this guy's got like 8 or 9 kids. He and his wife.
Yeah.
It might just be to make sure that he in fact doesn't have to work later on down the road.
I'm pretty sure that he's going to have a ranch someday. If you see this dude, he's like full Wrangler, cowboy boots, cowboy hat, like after the game. I love this guy.
But look at what he's accomplished, his numbers, playing for the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine what it would have been like if, he had played for Belichick in that system?
Oh,
my gosh, yeah.
And
we got maybe played with
he would have a lot of championships.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or Denver,
What if he had like a solid, like a 3-4 wide receiver crew?
Yeah.
I mean, he always just had 1 or 2 guys to go to.
Never really like just a crew,
right.
a team. I mean, even like, for instance, I'll even throw out the New York Giants. I mean, it's just, but what he's been able to accomplish in San Diego is really remarkable, the numbers that he's put up. And I think that he just doesn't get the accolades that he really deserves.
I'll tell you what, I had him a couple of years in fantasy.
On fantasy?
And he actually took me to win.
Yeah.
And I picked him up like 7th round. It was like just like kind of a garbage pickup. And I'm like, I'll go ahead and start it, man.
And he's always been reliable.
Solid.
I can't even count how many games he's actually missed over his career. But again, when I thought about Drew Brees and the record, and I thought about, basically the guy to replace him in San Diego.
Yeah.
And he was a replacement, right?
Yeah, literally. And then they just sort of cast him aside. But for Breeze, enjoy the moment. But I'll put this out there. Is it me, or did it look like the Redskins were just kind of like, well, this is going to be Drew Brees' night. Yeah, let's just kind of go out there.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think Washington's that good. And I don't think any of the teams that are in the East are good. Dallas definitely isn't good.
No,
the
Giants aren't good.
They got lucky in that last drive against Detroit.
Yeah,
because Detroit went right down, and scored a touchdown to take the lead, and then they happened to just barely be able to get down to kick a field goal. They beat the Giants their other game.
Philadelphia could easily be 1-4.
Easily
be 1-4.
A Giant.
Oh, Giants are just terrible, man. I mean, I kind of feel for them because they got 2 stars, and when OBJ threw the touchdown pass, I was thinking maybe he should just line up and be the quarterback when he threw it back to Barkley for the touchdown.
Yeah,
and I was thinking the ball was in the air forever, and I'm thinking that's got to get picked off. Like that was my first thought when I saw the ball in the air, and then when he caught it, I was like, wow, okay.
And you lose on a 63-yard field goal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean if you're gonna lose,
you got to feel good when the guy's lining up for 63.
Yeah, like
that
okay,
you're gonna walk out.
Yeah,
and
off the grass, outdoors.
And that was actually about 68-yard kick.
Yeah,
I mean, he
was
definitely
not close.
Oh yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah, he drilled it, and
you know what, Bill? Hats off to the real punters, man, and field goal kickers right quick, because that's a difficult job to do under pressure and in temperatures. Because I don't know where this guy is in the world right now, but if anybody knows Scott Norwood, ask him.
Hey, how about Crosby this week, man?
I was going to say Green Bay
inside of the field.
Right.
He missed 4 field goals and an extra point.
5 kicks you missed.
Unbelievable.
This is all you do. And I remember near the end of the game, Rogers went over there, put an arm around him.
Yeah.
I guess just to say either, look, shape up or you're out, or to say, hey, man, I
Well,
feel for you.
they've been friends a long time. I mean, they've been teammates for 10+ years. So, but since we're talking about kickers and punters, definitely a shout out to Dixon for Seattle, the pro kick guy from Texas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Is now in Seattle. This guy was dropping dimes. I mean, I'm talking like 50-yard kicks and dropping it like on a spot. It was like they put a dime on the field and said, here, kick this.
Wow.
And this guy is this unbelievable.
That is the
performance.
pro kick model.
And it really is all about, what pro kick has developed in these players. And still there's so many people that I talk to that have no idea about pro kick. That just shocks me.
Yeah, I tell you, but I don't recall ever seeing so many missed kicks by this time of the year.
Yeah.
Ever. And
Right.
granted, I mean the Green Bay situation was just like it was appalling.
It was great.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean coming from a Lion fan,
From a
gee,
Lions
didn't see
point
that
of view,
coming.
that was
Yeah,
beautiful.
man. But
From a Lion perspective.
Yeah.
so we had a chance to obviously talk about your Falcons and a little bit about the South, but let's start in the NFC. And who do you see as the surprise in both ways, where they are now, and also you're absolutely surprised that they are where they are now because they're just not doing well at all.
Well, I'm not surprised about the Saints, although they always do well. But this team here is surprising of all teams, and they actually look dangerous. The Chicago Bears.
Yes,
man.
I like how they look right now. I just feel whoever the offensive coordinator is awesome. They doing Cohen and Howard and Gabriel and I can't remember the guy's name right now.
You're talking about the
nice.
running back Cohen?
Cohen. I like him too. Yeah, they nice, man. They got a nice squad up there.
Yeah. And you know what? I was just looking at a stat today that the Lions have beat them 9 out of 10 times. And that is in jeopardy this year. I think that the Chicago, they're definitely going to split with them, but they're a team that could definitely beat Detroit 2 times.
Well, the absolute ass whooping that they put on the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah.
Trubisky is like I figure the guy absolutely had some skills, but he just put on a clinic.
Oh yeah.
He has good footwork.
Well, when we talked about the preseason, our whole preseason thing, I actually said how Chicago is going to do is going to be based upon the quarterback play.
Yeah.
If he plays like he did last week, you're talking about a team that can contend.
Yeah, and again,
Right.
and I think you nailed it, Torrance, with the Bears. They have got to be the surprise. I think that I certainly didn't have them as where they are now, and I thought that they would be better than they were last year. But that was an easy thing to comment on.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. But, so who do you think is the surprise going the other way?
No, besides Atlanta. We already know that's the given.
Okay.
We'll leave the Falcons alone. We've talked about the Falcons.
We're gonna leave them alone. I will say, that's close. I will say the Giants. The Eagles and 49ers, but they lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
But I thought they would probably be like 3-1 or something like that, or 3-2. But the Eagles, I thought the Eagles would be like 4-1 right now, maybe 5-0.
Well,
they got a good defense.
The Eagles do have a good defense, but they're having a little bit of trouble wide receiver. Jeffrey just came back this past week. My shocker is Minnesota. I really honestly thought Minnesota really didn't lose anything in the offseason, so you would think that they were going to be able to come out and do the same thing. They're having a lot of trouble running the ball. I think they're like 30th or 32nd in the league in rush. That makes it really difficult when we're having to pass the ball 50 times.
Yeah.
And some of that is because they're behind, but the other part is that they just can't successfully run the ball. And that's going to be a challenge for any team in the NFL if you can't rush the ball. So my shock is Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. My surprise team, although they finished very strong last year, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I thought that there may be a drop off is the Rams. Yeah,
Come on.
I
Might as well
really
give them the trophy right now. They're going to win.
I
the Super
didn't
Bowl.
think that they would be 5-0. I mean, I thought that they'd probably be maybe 4-1, maybe even 3-2.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
but I think they were still going to be a good team. But 5-0 now, the bullseye on their back. You know, and
They
so
played it, Seattle played them very well.
they did.
Yeah.
You know, and this is not a great Seattle team either.
No.
You know, so I think Seattle may
Right.
have kind of given some teams some help in terms of how to play against them. But the key is that you got to outscore them.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be
Right.
tough with that
Oh,
Ram
there's so many.
defense.
They have so many
Yeah.
weapons. Gurley is just a beast. And by the way, George, if you're listening to this, the best running back in the NFL.
And in terms of that, I'm just really surprised as to how things have really fallen off. I mean, I didn't think they were going to be a good team, but I thought that they would be better. And that is the New York Giants.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought they would be better too.
I thought that they would at least be 500. That's not asking
Well,
a lot.
aren't they like pretty close? I mean, they're
1-4,
The sad thing is,
1-4.
they're still available.
and they're only a game out.
That's what I'm saying. The division is so garbage. They actually got a shot.
It's a cannibalistic, but not in a good way division. The NFC East has always been that way. They eat their own.
Yeah.
But usually in a more positive aspect.
Yeah.
500 is going to win that division this year.
Yeah, it's so sad.
And that's going to be. There is no wild card team coming out of the NFC East. You could bet the ranch on that.
Okay, so on the AFC side, what do you guys see? Besides the Chiefs, I mean, Mahomes is playing like a beast.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
my shock and surprise, Cleveland Browns. And I actually called that. If you remember, I actually said that they could easily
Yes.
win this division. And
that's a good call.
I can see, I'll tell you right now, 3 of the 5 games they played into overtime absolutely could be 5-0 right now.
Right.
Because they're literally they're putting themselves in the game. I mean,
To win it.
And I can tell you right now, Baker Mayfield, you can say whatever you want. You can dog him out all you want. That dude is a playmaker, and he's going to make a difference, and he's going to actually have a good NFL career. And talk about a compliment. Drew Brees coming out and saying that this guy could be better than me. And you're talking about the passing leader.
I think that for some reason they thought that he was immature, that he acted like he had a chip on his shoulder, and he had some issues at Oklahoma. But listen, he has brought life to this team.
Yeah.
To the fans of Cleveland who are only looking for hope. But you're absolutely right. 3 overtime games, in 5 games. I
That
mean,
team ready.
yes, and tie one, win one, and lose one in overtime.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Right.
That's not bad at all.
And talk about a kicker, man. That thing that he kicked.
Oh, that was the ugliest.
When he kicked it, like
Oh.
7 people pulled out shotguns and started shooting at it.
I mean,
That
it was
thing
talk about a
wounded.
duck. I was when I saw it, I was like, this guy just missed this, and it actually went through. That looked like something that I would do, if I were out there,
Right,
and say,
right.
"Look, man, your only hope, just get it high enough, and maybe it'll go through."
That's right.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. Yeah.
That's
So you've
hilarious.
got
Good
Cleveland as your surprise. Who's your surprise in terms of just not playing well
Just
at
being
all?
bad, Oakland.
Just being bad. Yeah, they really are
I mean,
a bad team.
I knew
Yeah.
when they got rid of Mack that it was going to be a little bit of a challenge with the pass rush. They have 0 pass rush now. There is nobody being able to rush, and everybody that's playing against them just stands back there. And Russell Wilson might have a free-for-all this week. But I am going to call this. I am going to call Oakland on the money line. They win the game at home. Because I don't think Seattle's that good. They can't run the ball.
They should be 0-5.
Yeah.
They really should be 0-5.
Well, the refs gave them the game against the Browns.
Yeah, I think it was because it was on TV, and I don't know. I have a lot of conspiracy theories too. You think he does? I do.
I
as
have a
well.
lot.
Yeah, Torrance, who's your surprise as far as a good way, and surprise as far as a bad way?
My surprise in a good way was not surprised about the Chiefs because Andy Reid always starts off 5-0, 6 and 7-0. But really, the quarterback play, I like Mahomes. I think is
He's a
special
beast.
until you get enough tape on him. But he's awesome. Like he's like the Vic effect, but just like almost not that great yet. But he's great. He can throw on the run real good, man, real good. I seen him make a lot of big plays, so I'm surprised at the Chiefs. That's gonna be my surprise as far as the team is doing their best. And who's not doing well? Well, I like the Browns too. That's a good pick with Jeff already picked up. the Houston Texans. I thought the Texans would be like 4-1 or something like
I
that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I like Watson. I like the defense and everything what Houston have, and they got great receivers too. I just feel like they let a few games slip away.
Yeah. Well, I think Miami a little bit too. I mean, Miami's got, they played up a couple games, but they just played like trash in the second half of that game. Just completely gave that game away last week. And the thing is, it's hard to some of these teams that when you're watching the way they play one week, and then you're like, wow, this team's really got it, and then they just like completely fall off.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't see that in Kansas City. They have Hunt in the backfield. They have Hill as a wide receiver. Mahomes, I actually saw him throw a pass 80 yards and actually overthrew the guy. And I'm like,
man,
wow, I mean, this is unbelievable.
That's a cannon arm, wow.
I mean, how do you throw the ball 80 yards and like overthrow the guy? I mean, that's like usually underthrow. It's like you're throwing it so hard that you don't get it there. This was an accurate pass, and the guy just couldn't get there.
Just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, this is amazing.
My goodness.
Man. Yeah, he works magic. He reminds me of Steve Young, man.
Oh yeah. I like him. That left-handed little pass that he threw. Oh
man,
that was beautiful.
Come on, crazy man. Yeah, he's the most exciting player right now to me. Kamara was last year. For right now, he's the man right now.
So not Matthew Stafford. Not Matthew Stafford. No love.
No love.
Now, hey, hold on. Listen. Now, listen to me. I lied for Matthew Stafford to come to Atlanta. I like Matthew Stafford. He's played for the Bulldogs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the greatest. And when he had played strong, he got the ball to him. I don't know why we can't get the ball to Julio.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, Galladay, the guy from Northern Illinois, that's the second-year guy in Detroit, this guy's a beast. And he could be like the thing is that the wide receiving core for Detroit gets a lot of single coverage, but you can't really double any of these guys.
Yeah.
Because Tate and Jones and Galladay, you have to cover these guys. So you can't double them up, because if you put one of these guys in single coverage, they can get open. What's that?
Next Johnson.
I hate to say
that's a lofty goal.
That's up there, but I wouldn't be surprised this dude has a really good career.
Yeah, because you were definitely talking about a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. He could be.
Yeah.
He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the hands for sure.
He's a big dude.
Oh yeah, 6'5" plus.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, in terms of like who I think their overachievers are, I'm probably going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But in terms of team, I'm really surprised as to how poorly they're playing. And I think there was a lot of emphasis on Luck coming back. Obviously, it's the Colts.
Colts suck.
Yeah, they're really
that quick, but they're terrible.
They're really not a good team.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some house cleaning in Indianapolis. Yeah. I mean, they've been waiting around for Luck to come back, but they clearly took their eye off the ball in terms of the other positions on that team.
Well, I can tell you this: that from a gambling standpoint, that team's on the road. Go ahead and take the other team, and I don't even care who it is. Just go ahead and take the other team. You're good. I mean, you got a really good shot at winning.
Yeah, before Luck got there, it was a suck for Luck.
Yeah.
In terms of getting him, they may only end up winning 2 or 3 games this year.
Yep.
And it's obviously they're gonna have to start looking at some defensive players to get on that team.
And before we go, because we only got a couple minutes left, shout out to Josh Allen. The guy that our boy said is completely garbage. 2 Superman touchdowns. And when I say Superman touchdowns, the first one against Minnesota, this dude laid out like Superman. He did it again last week. This guy is showing character, and I can tell you what, when quarterbacks do that, the team will rally behind him.
Yeah.
So when you're getting victories, when Buffalo's beating these teams, it's not because they're good. It's because their quarterback is going all out, and that's making everybody play better.
Yeah, and again, Buffalo was a team that I think that, the way they started, everybody kind of gave them the idea that they were the worst team in the NFL.
They were getting 17 points from Vikings and won the game straight out.
And now, suddenly it's like there's some other teams, obviously, that are fitting the bill of awful teams.
Well, how do you feel if you're the guy that quit at halftime and then the team comes back and beats Minnesota?
Well, there's no place for you to go. Enjoy your retirement.
CFL, maybe.
Yeah, enjoy your retirement. You may even actually having to take off more than a year if you ever want to come back in the NFL.
That's right.
Yeah. But man,
Yeah.
listen, Torrance, I'm sorry we really didn't get a chance to touch bases on the NBA,
We'll
but
get you back.
we had a
Oh, it's
great
okay,
time
it's okay.
talking about the NFL, man.
Indeed.
Absolutely,
I
brother.
love it's football season right now. Really, anyway, it's football season.
Well, we've got, I think, is it the NBA starts officially, is it the 16th?
Yeah, these are pre-games.
Yep,
preseason,
yep,
right?
yep.
16th, 17th. So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we've got, but maybe hopefully next week we can have you on to talk about the upcoming NBA season.
Should be able to.
And
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, we could really appreciate it because we know that's near and dear to your heart. And but
Indeed.
we absolutely enjoy talking about the NFL too.
Absolutely.
So
Yes, sir.
thanks again, man. We really appreciate it. And for folks, your social media handles, Torrance, let everybody know.
Oh, Chef Hall _ specialty 79 at Just One Taste.
All right.
Well, just one taste, and I want to give another shout out. They made a salmon salad the other day, and I looked at this thing and I was like, man, I want that salad. I mean, that's like the real deal. When I saw that thing, I was like, oh, that looks delicious.
Oh,
Hey, yeah,
man,
that
you're
was-
killing it.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, next time I see you, man, you're gonna make me one of those salads.
No doubt, no doubt. So I got strawberries for y'all too, man.
Absolutely.
man,
I'm still waiting,
fantastic.
man. I want my henny strawberries.
Exactly. The henny berries.
That's right, baby.
Henny berries. There you
Love
go. Thanks again, Torrance. We really appreciate it, brother.
All right, Torrance.
I appreciate y'all. It's been a pleasure.
Take care, man.
Be good.
All right. Torrance Hall, our man down in the ATL. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
The golf store you've been waiting for is now open. Bob Allen Golf is ready to help you take your game to the next level. Bob Allen Golf is located at 6415 South Fort Apache, Las Vegas 89148. Choose your favorite clubs from our selection of Bridgestone, Callaway, Cleveland, XXIO, Srixon, Ping, Wilson, and more. We'll custom fit them in our state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulator. Come hang out with us and practice on our putting green to find out which club is perfect for you. Have your clubs repaired, reshafted, and regripped in our on-site tour shop. And talk about accessories. Guys and gals will feel comfortable and look sharp in the many sizes, colors, and options of apparel from Greg Norman, Black Clover, Under Armour, and more. The team at Bob Allen Golf takes your game as seriously as you do. Join our online family at BobAllenGolf.com and stop in the store to meet us. Remember, at Bob Allen Golf, your game is in the bag.
We are back. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And we're, as I mentioned to you before, we're going to switch gears. And with us, joining us on the line from Louisiana, from actually Baton Rouge, Louisiana, young man that we've had on this show before, and that is Cardell Thomas of Southern Lab High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Cardell, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
We're doing great. How about you, young man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, well, to kind of reintroduce you to our listeners, you were actually, as a sophomore, committed to LSU.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it was just no doubt about it. I mean, that's where you were going to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so, you're in Baton Rouge, and obviously LSU is big in Baton Rouge. Shocker. So tell me, you're a junior currently right now. And so how is your junior year going?
Oh, I'm a senior.
Oh, you're a
senior.
senior.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
sir.
I guess, well, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, because you're graduating in 2019.
Yes, sir.
All right. I should have figured that one out. So, obviously you're probably enjoying watching LSU. And let me ask you this, as a recruit for them, has LSU you get to go to these games, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you on the sideline?
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm jealous as hell, man.
Yeah, that's got to be great. So big game, obviously, this weekend against Georgia. I mean, how's that feel when you're seeing the number 2 team to come into town? LSU's playing well. I mean, how you feeling about this game this weekend?
With a strong connection to the team, I just feel like it's a do or die moment. This is the one chance we got to prove that we should be up there with Alabama, Ohio State, and all the other guys that they ranked ahead of us. And Georgia, they're not a pushover. They were in the national championship last year.
Right.
And you saw the game. It came down to one throw. So, and they playing with Alabama. And on top of that, they stayed the number 2 position. And they haven't came from it. So right now, LSU is the only team right now that could probably, shake Georgia off right now. If they don't do it, then, probably go deeper down in the rankings and everybody just, say those 5 games that we won were just, like kind of hype. Which in my mind, I feel like it wasn't hype. And just can't wait to see what those guys go out there and do.
Oh, that's great. And I've been keeping track, obviously, with you. I've watched his stuff, like his huddle, which is great. I mean, just watching you develop as a player is just exciting to me. When you know already that you got it locked in at LSU, I mean, does that make you play harder? I mean, or do you? I mean, how does that work? I mean, you're obviously everyone's looking at you. In what you're doing. I mean, how do you get fired up to play when you already know that you're on their radar and you know where you're locked in?
I mean, it goes past, just LSU. The ultimate goal for everyone who plays, and for me, to get that goal jack. So when I'm playing, it's not just for the, for the hype and everything, but just LSU. It's for the, go further. LSU is just a step I got to take the part to take a little bit, but I get fired up. I just make sure everything is critical to me, from the steps I take, college, and the steps I take, and how I pull, and how I get to the next level. And, lately, I've been working on that and just things like that. So I just get fired up about my future.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, the tailgate parties at LSU are legendary. I mean, they've been on most of the big time, Food Network and cooking shows, just in terms of like famous tailgates. You participate in any of those, brother?
Oh no, sir. It's crazy as a recruit. You got to go straight to the recruiting gate, and then that food would be, this is good at the tailgate sometimes. So, you can't really enjoy the tailgate.
Well,
Gator. What is it? Gator soup or something that I've seen on there?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Gator going on down there. That's for sure. This is Louisiana. I mean, my former wife. She's a Creole. Her family are all from like Lake Charles. So, I'm familiar with how they get down there. I mean, I have to ask you. I mean, I watch some of those games, and of course the LSU home games. And it just seems like it's just this unbelievable build up. How the team arrives, how they get ready, how they come out of the tunnel. I mean, is it really sunk in that, next year, you're going to be doing this for real?
Oh, yes, sir. Every time you step in the stadium as a person, knowing where you're going, like you think about it like, dang, that's me next year. So, just kind of get ready for it, get ready for the moment. And, when you step out of it, you want to make sure you're a person that's contributing to the team. And that's the biggest move. Just think about the freshman starting in Death Valley, his first game. Like, that's an unbelievable feeling, and that's the feeling chasing up.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, we certainly envy you. I mean, it's just got to be this unbelievable feeling. And we're interested in this sort of thing. We have to ask you how your grades.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
All right.
No problem getting into college.
Yeah, well, that's ultimately, and so what's your major? Or have you decided?
I'm probably going to do broadcasting, journalism, and business.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Can't go wrong.
Business is definitely going to be a lockdown.
Yeah, that'll open any door.
Hey, when you're looking at business, man, look no further than Shaquille O'Neal, man. If you look at this guy's career and what he's done with his finances and everything, he's getting ready to open a chicken place in Vegas, and I'm mesmerized by this guy because he's so balanced, and he's diversified his whole portfolio. He owns restaurants all over the place, man, and that's a guy to actually look after. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at guys like Magic, I mean, it's their after. Sports careers that have really taken them to the next level.
Right, and that had to be with their business degrees and everything.
Exactly. So, but no, we're real glad to hear that. So, is your family, are they big time LSU fans, or were there some, Southern Jaguar fans in there, or
What's crazy is that my mother went to Southern University, and my dad went to Jackson State University. And you know, if you're from down south, you know that's the most biggest rivalry that can ever
Oh, yeah.
go down. So when that game comes and we're going through it, it's a lot of going back and forth.
Oh, that's great.
And in Baton Rouge, you know, you might have a speck of a speck of Jackson State Tigers, but you know, you find many more when you go out there. So you know, it's an ongoing battle every day. Talking about it.
Yeah, my cousin is a Grambling alumni, and
Okay.
yeah, he goes back for the game every year.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just it's just a reason for him to go down there and show out. You know, so but I absolutely get that. You know, have you set some personal goals for your senior year?
Yes, sir. One goal is to, you know, just have that one flawless game, you know, learn from my mistakes and, you know, not make any. And just to go undefeated. We lost one game, but, you know, so that's kind of out the window. But it's just to not lose any more games, you know, get to the state championship and win that too. Top of my senior year.
Nice. So where are you guys ranked in the state right now?
Top 20, I'm not really sure right now, but I know we're top 20 for sure. But if we beat Kenwood, we probably should be able to take this. Kenwood undefeated right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. So you obviously you're in a preparatory school. Are there any teammates you got that you just want to give a shout out to and where they're going to college?
Oh yeah, really my whole team is Dior. You know, Ty Davis, you know, running back, he going there this year too with me. We got Tyler Gidget, he's committed to University last year. CJ Webb, she's decided between numerous schools. They have a lot of guys. And Saturday is going to be, you know, like a great day for most of them. So we'll see.
That's great. So you guys all graduated in 2019, same year?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Whole
beautiful.
team seniors.
I love it, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you think about that. You play high school ball, and you guys played before that as well. I mean, when you were younger guys.
Most of us have been playing with each other and playing against each other since 3 or 4 years old.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then all of us came to Southern Lab in 7th grade, and you know, all of us graduated with each other. So
All right.
That's beautiful. I mean, think about that. You young guys growing up.
Yeah.
Now you're going to college together, both getting picked up at the same school. That's beautiful.
That's amazing.
that.
I mean, that's a real heartwarming story. Let me ask you, you still growing?
yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure your coaches at LSU will be awfully glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, if any other, you know, are you on social media? I take it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, would you like to, you know, let folks know how they can reach out to you?
All right, on Instagram, you can follow me at Cordell Thomas, KARDELLCHOMAS, all lowercase. On Twitter, at CordellT62.
Okay.
Beautiful. And you know, when we first started watching you, because the first time I noticed you was at the All-American Army game, and I was still shocked by the way that you were just like throwing these guys around. And I started watching the other game films, and I'm like, this wasn't really a one-time event. This was like, you know, how this young man plays ball. Yeah. You know, so I'm watching this, and now I'm seeing a lot of people are catching on because, you know, I'm seeing, you know, he'll put a post up, Cordell will put a post up, and it's got 5,000 likes. You know, so you obviously are doing the right thing. Man. And now I have to ask this question because I remember last time we had you on, we brought up the track thing. I mean, you were part of the relay and the track. Are you still doing any sort of track?
Oh, no, sir. After the football season, strictly, you know, preparing to get ready to go in and start for the side. So I'm focused going to be totally on that. Focus even more on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Because you were moving.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now. And I was actually kind of shocked because you were running away from some of the little guys.
Yeah, it's still hunting because I know I could have won if I had the right shoes on. So, yeah, just wish I could do that day again.
That's awesome.
Well, listen, man. I mean, needless to say, we're awfully, you know, glad to have you on the show as always. More importantly, we're glad that your grades are well. We're glad that you've got a school picked out, an outstanding university. You're literally local as local can get.
That's right.
You know, so your family, your friends, they can all go down there and really tailgate. You still won't be able to go to any tailgate parties once you start playing.
Right.
So this is going to have to be your post LSU career before you finally get to your first tailgate. So we're going to have to ask you the questions, and hopefully you're ready for them. And you know, so we're going to ask you we're looking at the Super Bowl 2019 Super Bowl. We'd like for you to pick an AFC team, we'd like for you to pick an NFC team, and then we would like for you to let us know who's going to win it all this year.
I gotta go with. Man, that's a hard one. I'll probably have to say the Eagles and man, it's a hard one. I'll probably say the Eagles and Eagles, and I'm gonna give it to the Jaguars.
Jaguars, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay. And then who's going to win it?
Probably the Jaguars.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That'd actually be nice.
That's the first time that we have heard the Jaguars
That's
mentioned.
true.
So, you know, and we put this question out every week. All right. All right. Well, listen, man. Needless to say, we're obviously keeping an eye on you. We wish you the absolute best, you know, for your senior season, and hope that you can, you know, finish it up with a championship down there at Southern Lab High.
Yes, sir.
And we will obviously be watching you as you make it to LSU.
Absolutely.
Have you met Mike the Tiger yet?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
That's great.
That's good. All right. Well, listen, Cardell, you take care of yourself, young man, all right?
Yes, sir. You guys too. Thank you.
All right, thanks,
You're
Cardell.
very welcome. Thank you. All right, Cardell Thomas, senior defensive tackle and offensive tackle
Yeah.
for the Southern Lab High School prep school
Yes.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And he has already committed. He committed in his sophomore year to LSU. So that tells you how long he's been on the radar as far as the SEC is concerned.
And, you know, we first talked to him when he was a sophomore, and I think, like, both of us were kind of shocked a little bit that he's a senior, but that just shows like really how fast time flies.
It does.
Because it didn't seem like 2 years ago that we talked to him.
I
And
thought
then
it was
here he
just
is.
last year,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it's been 2 years. And you know, the young man, I mean, you know, to be in Baton Rouge and to now commit to LSU, my goodness gracious.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
talk about a family dream. That would be like me. Let's just not say me, because I'm not even actually good at anything, really. And I actually am questioning whether I'm good at anything at this point. But it'd be like somebody from UNLV, a high school kid, going through high school, playing at UNLV, and then eventually playing for the Raiders at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be the equivalent of coming through, because I've been watching this kid. The first time that I saw him, just the snippets and highlights, I was in shock. And if you have not seen it, you're watching this show right now, Google the Cardell Thomas with a K at the All-American game, an Army All-American game, the workout. This guy was literally throwing people around. They were 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was throwing these people around like they were like 110 pounds.
Yeah.
So, you know, watching that and watching his huddle, and that's one of the greatest things about high school right now is these huddle films are available, and it's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
The footage that, you know, that we're able to see that we've never been able to see. Yeah. And shout out to Huddle, really, because we would never have been able to see guys like him like across country. We might be able to go see our local guys, but never across country.
Yeah, I only wish Huddle were around when I was playing high school, and just the opportunity. I'm just lying.
I have a VHS tape. It's in my mom's storage. And I remember one game, player of the game, recovered a fumble, a couple good hits.
Yeah.
It's somewhere.
I think people were looking to have 8mm film back then. I mean, it was, but the just the tools that are available to these young men now. Huddle's been an absolute, you know, my goodness gracious, just in terms of putting together real professional highlight reel quality films. and giving these young men exposure. You know, it exposes them to a lot more schools at a lot more divisions, and you know, but hats off to them. And again, we're talking about somebody who's manhandling 300-pounders. This kid was running relay track.
That's right.
Yeah. So picture
Google that.
You
by
know,
the way,
this monster, you know, running a leg.
It was 4x100, I believe it was.
And you know, and him, you know, bearing down on you. I mean, that says a lot in itself.
And you know what? I do want to give a shout out, and we're coming to the end of the show. I had a meeting with Clark High School today. The hoops. Obviously, a few weeks back, we had Mr. Jackson, Action Jackson, commit to Arkansas State. We're putting together a program where we're going to be able to at least be able to shoot all of their basketball games with Southern Nevada Sports News. We're working with Primetime. We're working with Ben Rowden with this.
The Beard.
And I could tell you what, man, I've never been so excited, like leaving a meeting, to think that we're going to be able to take the high school basketball to the next level, be able to get these guys huddle film, be able to do all this other things that is really never really happened in Las Vegas.
Right.
I'm originally from Detroit, obviously, if you watch the show. They have this in Detroit. They actually have high school games where almost every single game is shot, and you can actually find them on TV stations.
Wow.
That doesn't happen here. There's only a couple of schools that actually shoot their games. There's only a couple schools that have schedules. This could literally blow the doors open on all of this happen, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Well, you know, hats off to you guys, by the way, for making this happen. And the only thing I can think of is Rage Against the Machine. Had to start somewhere, had to start sometime. What better place than here? What better time than now?
That's right. And you know what, honestly, Clark High School, you know, as much as people want to say, you know, they've had this, they've had that, always have been a top-notch program. Over 3,300 students. There's no campuses like that in Las Vegas. There's no 3,300 student campuses. They are going to pilot this program, and they're going to change the way sports are done in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, you know, Las Vegas has become a real target on the map as far as recruiters from college.
That's right.
For a lot of sports, not just football, but also basketball, baseball, volleyball, and we're talking about women's sports as well.
Absolutely. Ladies tennis team qualified in state. A golfer.
Golfers as well.
For Clark hit a hole-in-one this week.
Oh my goodness!
It's unbelievable. But we won't know. We don't hear about that because there's no coverage, and that's where we want to change it.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that people get the exposure. These players are actually coming out of Las Vegas high schools and going on to UNLV golf teams, and these guys are on the LPGA and the pro-ams.
And so going forward, please stay tuned because we're going to obviously have a lot of prep athletes coming through.
Absolutely.
And as we get closer to basketball season, as far as high school is concerned, and we're really looking forward to this thing really taking off. Right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So, folks, thanks again for joining us. Join us next Wednesday, October 17th, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
God bless.